Well, thank you for that. We appreciate that, for sure. And more importantly, we appreciate you for coming to Otakon 2021.
I appreciate being here very much.
Your presence here is well felt.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm sure you heard last night, the reaction of everybody and just being able to bring that energy to the con, and not just to the con period, but to just everybody from being at home, and a lot of people, this is our first con back. So really appreciate just the amazing work you do, the nostalgia you bring, the smile, the camaraderie amongst people. It's just, you have a lot of power in what you do with your music, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Man, it's very moving to hear. Thank you so much. And I definitely felt it last night. It was like, it was a very emotional experience for me.
Yes.
Because I love this community. And I love Oda too. I mean, like, I've been here a bunch of times at this point, and I love being here.
Yes, and it's just crazy to think, last year we were so excited seeing you, and we had plans on wanting to see you on tour, and the world said otherwise, but nonetheless, again, we're just thankful that you were able to make it back this year, and many more years for sure.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm right there with you. Thank you.
Yep. So from last night, just looking at the list, and it was just an experience, just amazing. Was there one piece that you, or the reaction of the audience, really just kind of caught you off guard, that you just wasn't expecting to get that reaction from everybody?
See, I'm not expecting that. All of it felt, I didn't know what to expect. I have to be honest. I didn't know what to expect from myself.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect from the audience exactly. I mean, I don't want to assume anything.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, or from the musicians, for that matter. Some of my favorite things that I remember feeling are like, I love those moments where you're like a little ways into a song and you hear like people like recognizing, like this like joyful recognition of like what you're playing and like where I know that from, and I haven't thought about that since like that feels so good every time, you know what I mean? Like, so that's, I mean, how's that?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Okay,
for sure.
cool.
And with Open World, was there a particular piece that you enjoyed like putting together the most? Was there one that was really close to your heart, like a certain game soundtrack that you put in there? You're like, this is one I need to have.
There's more than one. Yeah.
You could have more than one.
No, there are definitely ones that I think I know this is gonna sound kind of funny and maybe even like age me, but I love that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
We literally just talked about that.
I mean, I love it. It's so it's so fun, man.
Yeah.
I just it keeps giving.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I think it was really fun to bring some of the new stuff, like the new Undertale charts.
Yes, I was happy to see all those.
I mean, like doing the one Undertale, like with the like, it's really challenging, that kind of minimalism to perform that, and like I felt so good about how it came off.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are things. I think it's really things like the Zelda Ocarina of Time medley are just like, that's like
classic.
Woo, we're doing this. This is like, I mean, the moon thing. I mean, those are hard to do. Those are hard to play, but you want to do it.
Oh yeah.
Like you really want to do it. So like that dynamic is like, I don't know. I love it. I love that feeling.
It takes a certain special individual to take the Turtles theme and actually make that a positive thing. That is the worst.
Traumatizing.
It's bad.
That level.
It's just crazy that you can make it positive, like,
I understand what you get.
Everybody knows that.
So another question we've been bouncing off of each other is, like you said, and it shows you love this community. It's without a doubt. Would you ever think about going the traditional route into scheduling or performing in a sense that isn't oriented around cons? Because most of your schedule does tend to revolve or ends up targeting around different con spaces. As we know, you'll be back with a new world next year, which is exciting. Back in Chicago. So is there a strategy either to that, or would you ever go a little bit more conventional with it? Just for the sake of others that may want to be able to get into it, that may understand. And like, here's the thing, you know, sometimes cons is a little bit of a understanding for ones to understand what it is. You know, some people think it in they you know, whatever their assumptions are. But to understand that there's, right, but to understand like your childhood is here and it's being represented and it's being performed, and you go there, you're at home with a lot of other people, but you know, sometimes a little bit of a, like I said, a teaching curve to some people. So have you ever thought about possibly performing or stepping out on your schedule that doesn't sort of always orient around con spaces?
Yeah, well, I mean, we do a lot of concerts that aren't at cons. I mean, like Open World has only been at cons.
Okay, right.
But A New World, you know, Distant Worlds, the Final Fantasy VII Remake Tour, I mean, like, all this stuff. Like, you know, Near.
Yes.
Right? Like, I mean, those are all, like,
It's a beautiful
you know, we're doing regular old concert halls and regular old.
Just the giant one.
No,
Yeah, right. I mean, we know about the international stuff, you know.
You know, like Carnegie Hall.
Yeah, right.
You know, like, so yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I'm open to lots and lots of these kind of experiences.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So going a more personal question, I guess. How did you end up to be a conductor, a composer from being a musician? Like, how did you make that change? Did you always want to go up this path? Did you have a different like job path in mind? Did you just find yourself?
I would say as a, you know, when I was a younger musician, I was playing a lot of drums, percussion, singing. I was always writing. I mean, like, since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I realized at a certain point that I didn't want to feel like I needed to be in training like a boxer in order to maximize my expressive potential. And not because I was lazy.
Right.
It was because I, or didn't want to work. It was like because I felt limited by what I could do physically.
Yeah.
You know, so I think from that place, and I realized that, like, you know, my whole life I've been writing. I never really perceived that as a potential option.
Yeah.
To like that be the principal thing, as opposed to like performing being the principal thing. And then the irony of it is that from the writing and orchestrating and arranging and producing is where the conducting came from. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't the ambition, but
it grew from there.
It grew from there, and it turned out like I'm not the worst at it, and I started getting better and better and building on it and more joy, and that's basically the thing.
Awesome. Well, it appears that is our time. So I just want to make sure that we do our due diligence and know where is it possible for people to be expecting to hear and see you next?
Oh my goodness. Well, forgive me, please. But I'm not actually at liberty to talk about some of my future performances at this moment. I can tell you, go to the Final Fantasy VII Remake Orchestra Tour thing, and we have a bunch of those dates that are publicly announced right now.
Yep.
And, you know, more generally, you know, A New World, Open World, Near, you know, we talk Distant Worlds, all those things, like, you know, stay tuned for all sorts of announcements and things like that.
That's good enough.
Thank you.
And who knows what might be announced.
All right.
Keep an eye out.
Well, we'll leave it at that. And Eric, thank you so much for coming to
you.
Otakon again. We'll see you next year, because that's a must. And we love and thank you for everything you do, buddy.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be with you. Thank you for the time and attention.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right.